If you're thinking about buying investment property, it's really important to understand the costs associated with buying the property on top of your deposit for the home loan before you actually get started. So one of the most commonly asked questions I get is, how much does a solicitor or a conveyancer actually cost? So in today's video, I'm going to break down what the cost of a solicitor versus a conveyancer could be. I'm going to talk about the differences between buying an existing established home and building a brand new property. And I'm going to talk about how you can actually save yourself a little bit of the fees associated with a solicitor or a conveyancer in your home area. So the most important thing to remember when choosing a solicitor or conveyancer is to actually find somebody who's reputable, who is respected in their industry and their chosen field, who has a license in place to actually practice what they're doing, and who can help you go through the transaction as smoothly as possible without you having to have all the stress and all of that freak out associated with actually going and buying that property. So the price of a solicitor and conveyancer can vary dramatically. I've seen clients pay $800 to $1,000 for a solicitor or conveyancer. I've seen other people pay $3,000 to $5,000 for the same service with another company. So it really varies depending on which state you're in, which city you're in, and the type of property you actually buy. So existing houses and units can sort of sometimes be one price. Brand new properties or off the plan properties can sometimes be another price, and sometimes there can even be a difference between buying an established single income home or buying a unit, because obviously the unit comes with its own set of challenges, like more complicated body corporates, rate notices and strata plans. So as I said before, I've sort of paid a huge range personally. I remember the very first property that I bought when I was 24 years of age in Sydney. My friend recommended this conveyancer that was going to look after us. That conveyancer charged us $3,200 to do a basic transaction on a unit, and it wasn't until I bought my second property where I worked with somebody else where I realised we'd probably paid 3 times more than we actually had to at the time, because this person was looking after us and giving us a good deal because we're a first time buyer. So if you are a first time buyer or a first time investor, don't get stitched up like I did. Make sure you do your due diligence, and ask your friends or ask your family who they've used before. If they haven't used somebody, or there's not somebody that you know that can refer someone that was good to work with, then jump on good old Google and don't click the ads at the top, but click the people that actually rank for SEO, and they're generally the people that are working their business model in the right way and care about this stuff as well. So as I said, I've paid $1,000, I've paid $3,000. In terms of the average prices, again, they vary on the market and the state and the city that you're actually buying in, but an average price for a existing home would be somewhere between $1,000 for a very, very cheap sort of run-of-the-mill conveyancer that you can find online. One of the big national brands would do it for that price. Don't expect much service. Don't expect them to return your calls too much, but they will generally get the job done. Up to sort of $3,000 if you're working with a more bespoke sort of senior level solicitor. Now, there is a big difference between a conveyancer and a solicitor. A conveyancer, according to, or as my understanding as it is at the moment, can literally go get a conveyancing certificate at TAFE, whereas solicitor, and I might be wrong on that, a solicitor has to go through and get a university degree, and then to be a practicing solicitor they have to jump through a lot of hoops and keep their licensing very much in place. So the reason I use solicitors, even though I do pay a little bit more for their service, is because if there's ever a problem with the transaction, or you need some support to walk away from something using a finance or a due diligence clause or a building and pest clause or cooling off, generally solicitors are better equipped to deal with the challenges that can arise during that settlement period or that period of going unconditional, and generally seem to be better at negotiating on the things that you need to have your back. So I always think about the worst case scenario, and what if I need to walk away because of some reason. I want a solicitor that can give me advice on how to do that, as well as how to go through the transaction on a property. Now, if you're buying a unit or a townhouse, something with body corporate and strata related fees, the cost can be slightly higher. Some solicitors do houses and units at the same rate, some charge a little bit more, but you're probably looking at somewhere between $1,200 and $3,000 to do that as well. And then if you are buying a brand new property off the plan, or you're doing a house and land package, or you've gone out and bought a piece of land and you're actually going to find your own builder. The cost of a brand new product, just because there's some extra moving parts like a building contract to review, like an extended settlement, and some more moving parts associated with the settlement of something that's taking longer to settle than your standard 30 to 50 days. It can be a little bit more expensive, so you're probably looking somewhere again between $1,400 and maybe $3,500, again depending on your partner and their specialty skill set. So prices do vary based on products. It's pretty easy to find out what 3 or 4 solicitors in your local area will charge you, or conveyancers. You can just give their admin a call, ask them what their fees are. Now, don't be afraid to question their fees or to ask them for a discount if they're prepared to work with you. Their fees are definitely not fixed. Obviously, they do have a fee that they will work with the average client that comes through the front door through the phone for, but they also do give discounts on those fees, and sometimes all you have to do to get those discounts is actually ask for them. So I think, as I said before at the start of the video, it's really, really important to choose the right solicitor. It's not just about price, it's about protecting yourself, it's about protecting your asset, and it's about having somebody in your corner during the good times and the bad times that can look after you, that can work with you and help make that process as smooth as possible. Now, I don't personally want a relationship with my solicitor where I'm picking up the phone and calling them every couple of days. I don't like to micromanage my team. I like them to be able to do what they do. But I do like a relationship where if I have an email question, or if they need something, or if I need something, I can flick that email through. They can flick one through to me, or we can either one of us can pick up the phone if we need something. At the end of the day, they are a time for money business, whether it's a solicitor or a conveyancer, so value their time. They actually don't charge very much for what they really do and the time and effort and energy that they put into making that transaction smooth for you. So it's important to get the right team of advisors around you, and the future of your investment and the success of your portfolio as you grow it into the future will be dependent long term on the quality of that team. So it's better to get the right team in place up front. Sometimes paying a little bit more for a solicitor over a conveyancer can be a really good idea. So I hope you've got some value from today's video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We produce somewhere between 3 and 7 videos on the property industry every week. My name's Ben Everingham and I'm the director here at Pumped On Property, and thank you so much for your time and attention today. See ya.